And I think that's something that we can relate to. Consequently, the following panel discussion is student-centered. And I would like to call upon the following panelists to come and have a conversation here, which will be moderated by Mr. Thomas White. The panel includes Mr. Asim Yakub, Ms. Kanwal Wajid, dear old friend Zahra, Saleha, Ahmad, good old veteran debater, and that A-level economics teacher of mine I promised we would summon, Syed Asim Ali Buhari. The moderator of the discussion is Ms. Thomas White. Mrs. White, Mr. White has been a classroom teacher for 26 years. In 2004, Mr. White was selected by the National Education Association as one of the 5 recipients for the Annual Award for Teaching Excellence, something we can relate to with the previous slides. Let us all welcome Mr. Thomas White.
Thank you very much for your introduction. I appreciate that. With me today are 4 panelists. First of all, we've got, I'll do my best to pronounce these names right, Zahra, Saleha, Ahmad. Excellent. Thank you. She teaches A-level. She's on the faculty at Defense School. She teaches English literature and world history. She's a former BSS graduate, and she's come back to teach in her old school. Mr. Syed Asim Ali teaches A-level economics at Canal Side Campus and Goldberg Campus in Lahore. He's taught for 15 years. He's a graduate from the University of London External Program, as well as the graduate from the University of Cambridge. Asim Yakub also teaches A-level economics at the BSS School in Karachi. He's taught for over 10 years, and he's currently pursuing his PhD in economics. And Kanwal Wajid teaches A and O-level English in Islamabad and has worked for 14 years with Beaconhouse. So I'm just going to give each of the 4 panelists 2, 3, or 4 minutes to just offer a brief reflection on Dr. Greeley's speech. We can start with...
Can you hear me? Hi. If I could just sum up my reaction to Professor Goodwin's entire session, it would be a feeling of validation finally. I don't know about the rest of the world, but at least in Pakistan, teaching is ideologically considered a very respect-worthy profession. But yes, we do not get the social validation that I feel we all deserve. And in the last 2 minutes of his presentation, he mentioned how it is high time that teachers around the world get up and say that we matter, what we say matters, the government needs to listen to us, our system heads need to listen to us, and society needs to respect us. I feel that once that validation comes from society, specifically with regards to Pakistan, once the financial incentive is there to pursue this as a profession, once people begin to respect you as much as they respect doctors and lawyers, then you will have a large number of inspirational teachers coming up. I say this because... Thank you. I say this, I'm going to take a second and go back to my time in Kinnaird College. I'm a Beaconhouse Defense Campus student, and after finishing my O-levels, I went to Kinnaird College. And at that point in time, there was this teacher that I looked up to. And when I was choosing my master's and I was applying for scholarships abroad as well, I went to her for career advice. And I said, did you know, I want to think about what I want to do, maybe go into the media, do law, I like debating. And we discussed all these career options, and then she said, what is it that you really want to do? And I said, truly and honestly, I want to teach. And my teacher, who had been my role model all my life, turns to me and says, Beta, then you're going to waste your life. And in that one moment, her status from up here came down here. It's ironic that the people that you entrust your children's future to are not given that sort of respect the sort of opportunity and the sort of validation from society that they ought to. Once that happens, I think that will shift a lot of burden away from the shoulders of the teachers and allow them the freedom to eventually become inspirational teachers.
Thank you very much. Mr. Asim Ali.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Carrying on from what Zahra said, absolutely. Schools exist, teachers teach. I may not be too wrong in saying that a large proportion of teachers in Pakistan become teachers by default. They do not actively, whilst they're students, going through their degrees, looking at teaching as their final profession. It's either circumstance in life, or perhaps they couldn't get the job of their asking, which finally led them to eventually teach. Now, I'm not belittling teachers that way, because we're all part of the same system. And it's not that teachers are sitting there doing nothing. Teachers do produce, our results are there to show for it. The way our students compete in local examinations and then go abroad into external systems in countries abroad, and the way they compete there in an international community, the degrees that they accumulate, the professional excellence they rise up to, is evidence strong enough of the robust teaching that they have been given from the primary level right up to college level within Pakistan. However, are we recognizing that role in its true sense? I believe not. I would second what Zahra is saying. Yes, the respect is there, but that, again, to the extent that parents or the system may feel that their wards and their children are in the hands of somebody who can make or break them in several ways, emotionally or otherwise, and also that those children are at a very tender age and need to be looked after, and hence the role of a teacher in terms of respect therein is recognized. I think I'll stop here because this will warrant further discussion. Going back to what Andrew said, I am very much in cognizance of that as well, that good teachers within either the governmental system or maybe the private sector system like the one that we have in Beaconhouse, the way the organizations exist and the way the governmental setup exists is that eventually the better teachers are promoted and farmed out into administrative and management levels, where again their input may be fantastic, may be very good, but that quality which they had of being in the classroom and making a difference in people's lives. Now we can go on talking about what a good inspirational teacher is, and the Hattie report is there, and I had lovely quotations written down, which now I have to throw them out of the window, of what a good inspirational teacher is. I don't think we have to deliberate upon that. The point is this: good teachers have to be retained. How do we do that? Now, in one way, things have improved, and that too not because of the local system, but for local systems, local system as in the local education board system, but organizations like Beaconhouse, which have promoted the alternative system, which is the ONA levels examination. Around the time when I took my ONA levels examination, which was then called the school certificate and the higher school certificate, there were a total of probably 4 institutions in Lahore offering that examination. And today, probably 400. This tremendous growth has improved the economic returns for teachers, definitely. So we are moving in that direction, but more so because of market forces rather than by design. I think I've said enough. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we'll hear from Mr. Asim Yakub.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, everybody. Actually, I'm left quite speechless after the first 2 guests have spoken, because I really don't have much else to add to that. They've put it so eloquently and so thoroughly. But I will say this, that yes, I do agree with Professor Goodwin when he said that the that a teaching profession is also a profession, like a doctor's profession or a lawyer's profession. So why not make it comparable in all aspects? And in all professions, whatever anyone chooses to do in life and continues to stick with it or switch from it, it is as a result of some source of motivation or inspiration that one draws. I was reading an article a few years ago, very interesting one. I don't remember all the details. I don't remember the name of the author, but the title of the article was, "We Are Who We Meet." I think over the course of the years, the various wonderful people we interact with in various walks of our life, whether in the family, personal life, professional life, we draw a bit of inspiration, consciously or subconsciously, I think. It certainly happened with me. That has led me to make certain choices in life and led me to stumble into teaching. As Syed Asim said a while ago, that very few people probably actually plan to become a teacher. Many of us, especially in Pakistan, probably stumble into teaching. But it's as a result of who we meet over the years, from whom we draw inspiration. On the job, now I've spent 10 plus years. I draw inspiration every day from my brilliant peers, colleagues I work with. I draw inspiration from my students, not just the ones who score A's, but even the ones who come up and say that they wish to understand a certain concept, they're having trouble with it. Can you please show me a way? Can you please help me out with it? I draw tremendous inspiration from that there are students out there willing to learn. Thank you. I draw inspiration from the Beaconhouse organization, that have taken a quality education system, even if it's an external system, and have made it available to almost 200,000 students around the country and around the world, which was until not long ago accessible only to the elite. And through that system, Beaconhouse has also given access to students regardless of their demography, regardless of their geography or their gender or their income group or their ethnicity, regardless of it all. They've been given a fair chance to gain access to the top universities of the world at 100% or even 110% scholarship. And that's happening every year from some branch or the other it happens. I draw tremendous inspiration from that. And that's why I do what I do. And I love what I do. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Kanwal, Wajid?
Kanwal. We practiced earlier.
I've been practicing all afternoon, actually. I'm doing the best I can up here.
Actually, I had my statement already last night, but in the morning session, like Richard here is responsible for making a lot of people deviate from what we actually wanted to say or what we actually intended to say. We are still under the spell of the morning speaker's the keynote speaker. And I just picked 2 words from his presentation. Of course, I picked a lot, but I want to share 2 words here. He talked about immediacy and he talked about stickability. Seem quite opposing. Now, if we are looking after a generation that's really fast moving, looking at immediacy all the time, and we want to give them permanence or stickability, then we seem to be in a dilemma. And I kept thinking the whole entire morning that what can be the solution? Not that I have come to a solution, but what I can think of is, like, there are 2 ways to teach. One is that you teach through the heart, through the head. That's IQ, and you give excellent results. And one is that you teach through the heart, and you produce people that give excellent results. That's EQ.